In the following set of tutorials, we're going to take a look at variables in ActionScript 3. Now, variables are important for us to use because we often want to remember small bits of information so that we can use those bits of information later. Now, variables will be used in order for us to remember information so that we can use them in functions or for calculations or concatenation, which is adding two strings together, lots of different things. Now, when we create these variables, we'll be using a special syntax. It says var, the name of the variable, and then the type of variable, and then whatever that variable equals. And when we create these variables, Flash will automatically detect them, but it's best that we use a method called strict data typing, and I'll show you what that is here in a minute. Now, we can also create variables for all sorts of different things, such as creating a new sound object or creating a new movie clip object, as you see here at the bottom. We can also create sprite objects and all sorts of different types of objects that will all be variables that we create. Now, we're going to begin by creating some very simple variables, just a trace variable that includes my name. And we're going to show you some of the problems with using variables, such as if you try and output a variable before you create it, and if you get the syntax wrong, just so you see some of the errors that can happen. So let's begin with a very simple variable. Let's make sure you're on your Actions panel and open up the Flash CS4 variable start file, of course. So this is going to be my trace variables section. Now let's create a variable first. To create a variable, we use the var keyword, the name of the variable that we want to do, and I'll just do my name, and then the value of it. Oops, I accidentally deleted all that. So there, we've now created a variable, and the var says variable my name equals Jonathan. Now, of course, you can put your own name in here. In order to use this name, I can now trace the output of that variable. Go ahead and test your movie with Control-Enter, and you'll see that your output should now include your name. Now, if we go back and try commenting out where we've created our variable, I want to show you that if you try and output a variable before it's created, then it should render an error that shows us that the variable is not defined. So variable my name is not defined. So this is a pretty common issue where we try and output the results of a variable before we actually create what that variable is. Now, we can also do another problem, such as use the variable before we've created it. If I take the var my name and put it after the trace command, and I test my movie with Control-Enter, then what will happen is it will show me that I have an undefined variable. And it notices that I've created the variable, so it doesn't give me that error, but it says that I've tried to output what the value is before I've actually created it. So let me move that after it again. And then what I'm going to do is update that variable. Now, to update this variable, we can always do that later just by putting the name of the variable. Then I would have to output that name again. So let's do Control-Enter, and you'll see that it has output both of them. Now, this variable needs to have, it has automatic data typing, and the automatic data typing in this case, Flash recognizes that this is a string, but it's best for us to use strict data typing whenever possible. So in order to do that, we follow the name of our variable with the type of data it is. So in this case, it would be string. So we only need to do that when we first begin our variable. And so you'll see now it's the same thing. And of course, I could actually output the type of variable as well. Let me pause this and then show you that. Now, by inserting the line trace type of my name, it will actually output that we have a string here if I test the movie with Control-Enter. And you'll see it says that. So